What's up, everybody? This is Scott and welcome back to another video. Well, you know I like Google stuff. So yeah, I get it, it's kind of an addiction, but I could be addicted to a lot worse things. There's one Google product though, yeah, I don't know about this one. Today's video is about Google Clips. So Google Clips is a bit of an AI-powered little camera that captures no audio, motion pictures, and 7 to 10 seconds of video clips. That's pretty much what this little device does. Essentially, you have 720p clips that Google's AI captures for you based on things like faces and things that are happening when the camera is on and pointed at it. Clips weighs in at about 60 grams. It is exceptionally light. So it's a fixed focal of f2.4 with 130 degrees of field. So you can see through some of these images, it does tend to capture a lot when it's pointed at the right thing. It captures at 15 frames per second and has a battery life of about 3 hours. All in all, I was actually pretty impressed with the battery life of this little guy, but I found myself only using it for about an hour at a time, hour and a half, so I never really had to worry about the battery life because I always kind of struggled with what I should point it at. It comes with this weird silicone case thing, kind of clippy-ish thing that I could clip it to my shirt, but again, I struggled with more what should I point it at rather than the actual quality, which was overall pretty good. This thing is very, very thin. You'll definitely know that this is not a GoPro, which it's not really supposed to be a GoPro, but it's exceptionally thin, roughly about what I thought was a little bit thicker than the Google Pixel 2 XL. Overall, it was very easy to just kind of put in pocket and forget that you had it. One thing about it though, when you point this thing at somebody, they absolutely unequivocally know that this is a camera, so they're gonna ask you questions like, "Hey bro, why are you pointing a camera at me? What are you filming?" As we were growing up, we kind of said, "Hey, why don't you snap a picture, it'll last longer." All right bro, I actually have a camera, I can snap a picture if I wanted, if Google's AI actually lets me do it. So Google's come out and said that Google Clips is smart enough to capture and recognize great expressions, lighting, and framing, so the camera captures beautiful, spontaneous images, basically capturing the images between capturing images. So it's like image inception, I suppose. So on their own website, they basically tell you how you should be using Google Clips, talking about framing, where you should put it, and how you set up your camera. But again, I still don't really know the point of Google Clips. Google's come out and said the overall goal for Clips is to capture your loved ones. That was the dog. Google's come out and said that the overall goal for Clips is to capture those moments in between moments of your loved ones, pets, kids, family, so you can also be in the images rather than being kind of behind the whole shutter thing. I get it, and it's super important, and I like the thought, but again, in practicality, so one thing I was a little bit concerned with is the privacy of the images, because again, you're just gonna let this thing into your home, putting it up on a shelf to try to capture those moments with you or your kids or your family. So what's Google gonna do with my actual, photos that it takes with this AI-powered assistant? Are we eventually making Skynet so it can come into my house and take all my things and, those creepy things? So Google's come out and said that linking the Clips camera to your Photos account doesn't actually pull anything into the cloud. The app will download a handful of images from your account and then send them to the Clips camera, where it's going to run its face AI thing basically to look at that algorithm locally, so when it's pointed at someone that it recognizes, it's going to snap a photo of that so it can capture their expression. One thing you're going to notice here on the front that actually has a push button where you can push the camera to take a picture of someone that you want Clips to recognize. It will remember that person and prioritize any time that it actually sees it. They'll grab that photo or whatever that particular person was doing in that instance. So I've hinted at before, but what's it like to actually use Google Clips? Once you turn the camera on and you just give it like a really quick twist of the lens itself, it starts to immediately capture those moments. So the whole goal is to just basically set it and forget it, put it on a shelf somewhere, and just let it capture whatever it finds, which is nice in theory. But what I found when I was going through all the images was basically it was capturing moments that were extremely boring, and it was a bit cumbersome to go through each of those individual clips within the Google Clips app. it captured a ton of them, which again is the purpose of the camera, but then I had to go through boring moment after boring moment after boring moment, and it just didn't seem very practical to me. So I mentioned the app before. It's kind of this Tinder style where you swipe one direction, it deletes, swipe another direction, and it saves. You can connect it to your Google Photos account to where it automatically gets populated in there. That was pretty much seamless. Google has definitely made it very, very easy. Kind of what makes this a bit of a deal breaker for me is the price point. It's actually priced at $249, but it's actually on sale at the time of this recording for $199 on Google's own store. So you're basically going to get a $200 to $250 camera that you just put on the shelf and let Google take pictures whenever it feels like. So that kind of goes right into what I recommend this. I did say it was a bit of a deal breaker, but maybe I'm just the particular weirdo for this. So let's talk about some of the 3 questions that I had when trying to use Clips. So do I trust Clips to basically automatically capture events that I would already capture with my phone? Absolutely not. No way. I would just take my phone out. I have way more power in my phone, way better processing, and just way better quality overall. So I would just use my phone for that. So Google Clips is out in that particular case. Would I trust Google Clips to capture those moments that are kind of cool where I may or may not have my phone in my pocket? Maybe, kinda, but I would still probably be okay with the few moments that I did capture with my camera phone. Did I just say camera phone? Who says camera phone anymore? Now, do I trust Clips to capture those moments that I would otherwise not capture but are really, really cool? Absolutely yes. However, there comes at a cost with that. The cost, the money, obviously, $200 to $250, and you have to weed through a lot of those motion captures to find a cool moment where you may or may not keep it. Out of the many, many days that I've used this camera, I have kept probably a total of 10 clips, and I have dozens and dozens and dozens of clips that I have gone through. Yeah, I don't particularly know if I want to take my time to do that. I'll just trust the fact that I'm going to use my phone with a camera, not a camera phone. Much like Apple, Google's trying to basically solve a problem before people think that it's a problem. I actually really commend them for taking the risk. It's just not something that I want to spend $250 on, kind of knowing what I know now about Clips. I can't quite see the point of a camera like this, except for moving it shelf to shelf, which kind of gives me an idea for a future video, so more to come on that. So that's it, that's all I have. Thanks for watching. As always, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below, and we will see you next time.